Welcome to 15K plus random movie reviews, where we take random movies from Metacritic's 15K plus movies to randomly watch whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of 15K plus random movie reviews. This is Colin.
And this is Niall.
And this is The Wind and the Line, movie number 5,830 on Metacritic's all-time movie list. It's got a Metascore of 67 and a user score of TBD because nobody has bothered to review this movie. So that's saying something.
It's obviously not something that's stuck in people's memories as a classic. It's not Lawrence of Arabia. You know, it happened and people forgot.
Yeah, it tries to be, but it just doesn't get there. It's 119 minutes long. It had a budget of 4.5 million and it took in a box office of 9.2 million. In brackets, it says rentals after that, so maybe it went to the video shelves quite quickly, but at least, hey, it came, doubled its money or whatever. So, director was quite a famous person, actually, John Milius. He wrote Apocalypse Now, which was interesting.
Yeah. Quite. Yeah, but then he followed it up with Conan the Barbarian, which...
Don't knock it.
Oh, I love it. It's just, I wouldn't consider the writing part of that all that important.
I am Conan.
I hit you with sword. Now the movie is over. There you go.
At the end. Yeah. I think he got... did he get an award for... No, he wrote, I had to tie this in, but he wrote a movie called Geronimo, and it was one of Matt Damon's earliest roles, 1995. Just had to put that in there.
Your favorite actor. You needed to mention that. Yeah.
He pops up there. In 2007, he got an Austin Film Festival award for Distinguished Screenwriter, and he cited this movie as one of his favorites.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, because Apocalypse Now, it really is exceptionally well written. This is kind of flat, you know. There's not a lot of nuance to this, I don't think.
No, definitely not when you compare it to Apocalypse Now. There's a couple more interesting people I wanted to mention. Herbert Jaffe, the producer. I just wanted to make a connection here. He was a literary agent before he became a producer, and he was a literary agent for Reginald Rose, who wrote 12 Angry Men. So I thought that was a good connection there.
Nice.
Yeah. Billy Williams did the cinematography, and he also played Sir Joshua Smith, the guy who puts a few of the lads down at the start of the movie and then gets killed. The guy in the white suit.
Oh, okay. The guy who pulls out the revolver and thinks he's going to kill 50 people.
Yeah. Then he fires the gun and it's empty and he goes, damn.
And then gets decapitated.
Yeah. But he also, he was a cinematographer for a lot of good movies. Gandhi on Golden Pond, The Exorcist, opening scenes only, it says. But there's a couple of good pedigree behind this movie.
Oh, absolutely. And not to, dismiss Mr. Sean Connery or Candice Bergen. Another tie-in to one of our previous movies as well, with one of our favorites, the Stick movie.
Yeah.
In many ways felt a lot like this, to be honest. And not in a bad way necessarily.
Yeah, she's better in this. She's given a bit more.
She's way better in this. Yeah.
Yeah, she's given a bit more script to work with. Elmer Leonard would be turning in his grave, I guess, for his screenplay back for Stick. But with this one, she's given a bit more. Anyway, the plot is actually based loosely on a true story. I don't know if you got into this in your research.
It's incredibly loose on a true story because it was what's that say? Pedicaris. A bloke who was kidnapped by a bunch of Berbers in Morocco back in the day, 1905 or something, I think it happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the only similarity. That one fact is it. Like, the name is the only, and the fact he was kidnapped by Berbers, so there's Berbers in this as well. So it's Mrs. Pedicaris who was kidnapped in this, and everything else of the story is fictional.
Well, apart from the Teddy Roosevelt thing,
he existed, yes.
He existed,
and he did have a bit of a party in Morocco as well, and he's quite well received in Morocco actually. Post shooting and bayoneting.
The famous, well, not famous line, but the line from the movie was said in real life. We either want Razuli dead or Peligaris alive. That was said by Roosevelt or Hay, one of them. But anyway, they got involved in some way, but they didn't do a whole battle. They just got him released and gave Razuli dude all what he wanted, the 50,000 coins of gold or whatever. I don't know. But that's pretty much what this whole plot is about. There's a Mrs. Peligaris and her daughter and son get kidnapped at knife point and sword point at the start, and the whole movie is them being in the presence of Razuli, played by Sean Connery, and a whole lot of really nothing really happens.
A lot of shenanigans where Sean Connery is Sean Connery, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. He has a lot of screen presence, so you have to give Sean that. But as for playing an Arabic Sultan-style guy, he doesn't really try very hard with the accent. I think maybe there was one line where he attempted, and he just gave up after that.
Yeah, it definitely came across that he just was phoning it in a bit, but hey, they probably just said, be yourself.
Well, yeah, why hire Sean Connery if he's going to put on a weird accent? You want Sean Connery's accent.
Yeah, it's definitely not Arabic. But anyway, getting over the whole fact that, in 2023 this wouldn't be made because nobody Arabic plays any Arabic roles in this. And it's a little bit, it kind of portrays the horde or the Razuli clan as quite animalistic at times.
The Berbers. Well, in fairness, the Berbers did exist, and they were cutthroat, pirates, effectively, without a boat. They were bandits.
Sand bandits.
Sand bandits, yes. So I did find his depiction of the educated savage kind of, I would imagine, probably insulting nowadays. Because he's the one guy in his whole clan who can read, and he's got a bit of, culture about him, and all that jazz, and everybody else is running around shooting into the sky, which is not a great sort of depiction of Arabic people.
Yeah, it happens a lot. A lot of shooting guns in the sky and a lot of horse running around and stuff like that. The movie starts off with the big house, a horse house attack I put down.
Yeah. Nice colonial English or American colonial house. Candy sends off for a nice bottle of Bordeaux, red Bordeaux. There's some shenanigans outside. There's a bit of smashy. And then the butler comes in with the Bordeaux. Fair play to him.
Yeah, he balanced that well.
Yeah, that was very good. But then he keels over and spills it. So when William, the son of Candice, or Mrs. Peligaris, says, he's got a knife in his back.
Yeah.
Without any emotion. Look, the butler's dead.
He's got a knife in his back.
Yeah, I kind of love that line. It's straight away. It was a nice starting line, for that kid.
It's a classic line, and I think it's going down in the annals of 15K.
Oh yeah, it's down there with chickens.
It is. It felt very similar to it. It's like it was said with such. I guess in the script it looked more serious than it sounded, and it's like, yeah, that's weird. But
in fairness, I think the kid, maybe the line would have a bit more punch if it was delivered by a decent child actor.
I don't know about that. I think it's a weird, stupid line. It's like he's got a knife in his back. It's like it's just weird. I don't know. Like it's like
it wasn't a, oh my god, he's got a knife in his back. It was a knife in his back. Interesting.
It's like later on when they start beheading people, he should have turned around and said, "Oh, he doesn't have a head."
Yeah. They missed it. They missed the trick there.
Anyway, so actually I was quite. Oh, actually, I wrote down something. Lampshade hat.
That was good. That was good.
They rode the horses into the house.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Oh, I guess that's what they do. I didn't like. Actually, it was weird. Like the poor chef is standing in the living room, and they just stab him to death. It's like, leave him alone. He's just a chef.
Yeah, he's just asking for an omelette. He'll be fine.
I was actually surprised that Sean Connery was playing the Arabic.
I wrote that down as well because I wasn't sure who he was in this. I didn't really read the synopsis beforehand, but when he sat there on the bench after all the stabbing and the beheading and such, and then he turns around and I went, "Oh, Sean's the bad guy." Damn.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be the person that comes and saves them.
Nope, not at all.
No. And I just really, his entrance was weird. Like, it became a comedic horse dance thing, and he falls off his horse, and Mrs. Paradurus, Mrs. Pedicure,
that girl, yeah.
Mrs. Pedicure says that she's laughing, and he goes up and slaps her and goes, "Do not laugh at me again."
Damn right.
But like it that's what my problem with the movie is that it goes into comedic areas at points, and then it goes into chopping people's heads off at point, and it's just got this weird balance. It never sits right for the entire.
It's a very inconsistent tone because it goes from decapitation comedy to slapping people around the place, like violence. So the violence doesn't stick because of that, and the comedy doesn't stick because you just watch people being decapitated. So it's a roller coaster that doesn't feel great.
Yeah, you just don't know what to feel about the actual movie. Like, what is this? Like, if it went just pure, like, making that comedic horsey entrance with Sean Connery was stupid. Like, bring him in, make him a bad guy, but like then develop him as obviously a character that we have to actually feel something for. But I never feel anything for any of the characters.
There was a feeling of when he was talking to Mrs. Pedicure. And it is that slapstick daftness that really doesn't fit in this movie, in my opinion.
No, for sure.
So that's where I felt an association with Stick. It's kind of serious, but there was a bit of slapstick as well. And yeah, the tone doesn't gel well together. These two separate tones just rounding together with no segue.
Yeah, so then we pretty much have three basic core storylines to follow. You've got obviously Mrs. Pedicure and the kids in Rajul's captivity. Then you've got Teddy Roosevelt over in America talking about, hey, listen, we need to do something that's going to help with your presidency if we actually save or whatever. Then over in Morocco, you've also got the Bashaw character, and you've got the Sultan over there who's sort of involved in it. Rashul's not friends with the Sultan, blah blah blah, and then this Bashaw guy, the American envoy is going to him, going, "Yo, you want to help out with this stuff?" He goes, "Yeah, I want." The Sultan wants 2 lions. 2 lions.
He doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about whatever you want to give with guns or whatever. He likes lines, but the Sultan and all the buddies and the Europeans in the corner, they're all kind of incidental. Really.
Yeah. They don't really. I actually even just forgot. And then the Sultan appears for one scene, and then you don't see him again because you see Bashaw again, the dude, because the Americans come and kill all his people, basically.
I love that. Well, we'll go into that as well, but there's a part of that really made me think. Really, you did that, you jerks? But I'll talk about that later.
Killing his servants.
It was killing the slaves for no particular reason other than they're in the way.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it was weird. And they weren't, they had little curvy swords though.
You got a machine gun and 500 men at the side, and he's got a spiky stick that's killing.
Yeah. All right. So there's a major part. Well, not major, but nothing was really major. But Rajul gives some sort of. He talks a lot in riddles and stuff, and that's where the wind and the line come about. And not riddles, but analogies. So he's got some well analogy, and I think it really actually feels like Daniel Day-Lewis's "There Will Be Blood" sort of well analogy in that movie. It just reminds me of you have a well, blah blah blah. I have a well. I come and
Drink it all up.
Drink it all up. Yeah. No, but
not delivered nearly as well. Let's be honest.
No. And then you've got so that basically that analogy then happens. Then some beheadings happen. So it's just weird. The beheadings are like, oh, really? This is that type of okay. They killed some people in the mansion attack, the house horse attack.
Yeah,
they killed some people, but it was off screen a little bit.
Again, felt a bit comedic as you're running around killing people with a lampshade on your head.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And then they actually closed up on the lampshade on the ground when the horses left. They're like, what sort of segue shot is that? It's like focus on the lampshade.
It's the most important part is the broken lampshade, not the dead people. No, the lampshade.
Yeah. What about poor Billy Williams? So Joshua Smith on the ground. Why didn't you show him? He took a few of them out. He was died brave, a hero.
No. The real hero is the lampshade. You're missing the point.
All right, so and then the beheadings, the way it was shot as well, I thought it was pretty well done because they kind of show it half. They don't show obviously the head's been cut off, but then a sort of a fake head lands on the ground.
Yeah,
but you don't see anything because there's a leg in the way or something. So I figured they got around that pretty well. Then they've got this she has this chess scene with him, and it's like, what are you playing chess with him for? You just shot your best buddy, Sir Joshua Smith.
She obviously didn't give an F about Mr. Joshua Smith.
No, and this is one of the major problems that I have with the movie. Mrs. Petticure and her kids see this guy massacre people and they become friendly with him. And it's Stockholm Syndrome by a billion. And it's just weird.
Yeah, well, it's Stockholm Syndrome. It doesn't really pass go collect $200. It goes straight there. Now, there is a scene where she tries to leg it. And the guy she bribes to get her out of there is a worse type of brigand. But of course, Sean rides to the rescue and kills like 50 people on his own.
Yeah. And then she lovingly gets swept up into his arms and tells the kids to grab a couple of horses on their own. In between that, that was the great escape. There's a couple of scenes in between the chess scene. Like the chess scene, there's a couple of quotes from, I can't remember what it was, but basically it sort of mirrors, you took the queen, you took me, you're going to be in trouble either way or something like that. Blah, blah, blah. It didn't really matter.
Yeah. I think there was a bit of swordplay of words between the two characters. And it's actually well done, I thought. I mean, the dialogue's well delivered. Candace is pretty decent with dialogue. Sean. I actually kind of enjoyed the scene, but as you say, it's an unusual position for them to be in, considering he just killed all of her servants and one of her best buds. Yeah,
and so it really needed to have been balanced better before this. Like, if he had not killed anybody, if he had not fallen off his bloody horse in a comedic clown aspect, and this whole scene was set up for this maybe later on in the movie, then they could have had a couple of reflective moments over the chess game, but unfortunately not. We do go in, there's two scenes I want to mention, but I don't really remember one of them, but I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of, it goes back to Teddy Roosevelt again, and he's just shot a bear. And
this is the hunting scene,
the hunting scene. And he pontificates about blah, blah, blah. But then I just realized, Teddy Roosevelt and Rasul are very similar. They just talk, they pontificate, and they have analogies for everything. Yeah.
What I love about that hunting scene, I don't know if you've seen it in the background, but when he's talking about the bear that he just killed and why it's not a great thing that he's killed the bear, which I'm like, fair enough, yes, you should feel sorry for killing a bear. But in the background, there's a horse lying on the ground, and it's just fecking around, being a horse, horsing around.
I like
what
that.
I loved.
Yeah,
completely unscripted, because horses can't be scripted, but
no, definitely. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I bet the director was going, yeah, that's great, actually. That's pretty
leave
cool.
that in.
Yeah. It goes swiftly onto this crazy Sultan scene where he's playing bike football. Well, it's bike football, really, not even polo.
Yeah,
he's a lampoon of a character. He's constantly laughing and being over the top, and and then you don't see him again, so it's not really worth it.
Yeah, this scene actually annoys the crap out of me because this is almost stuff that happened in history, and it's so shallow. There's no nuance. It's just he's a caricature of a sultan who is spoilt, I suppose. But it doesn't go into anything beyond that. And there's no motivation for what he does.
No.
And everybody, the ancillary characters around him are basically just painted in scenery. Like it's rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah. And then at this point in time, I'm writing down in my notes. There's so much bloatedness in the scenery shots. Like there must be 30 minutes of just no dialogue pictures or scenes of the horses. And I understand that they probably got dozens, if not hundreds, of extras to ride horses and scenes, but they just go on forever in between scenes, and it's just so annoying.
Yeah. And the thing is, some of the scenes are quite well shot and they're quite well chosen,
sure,
but they're too long.
They're way too long. Way too long. And then, if we hop over to America, then they're going, yeah, let's do military intervention. At this point in time, though, we haven't seen Rasul / Connery on the screen for probably a good half an hour or 20 minutes at least. There's been we've had Teddy Roosevelt pontificating on his bear hunt. We've had the Sultan bike football. Then we had Teddy Roosevelt posing his bear for a photo. Something like that, and something about a Remington rifle that I can't remember. I think it was his bear.
Yeah, he was giving out about his Winchester not being fully customized to his specification.
Yeah. So by that point, they're basically saying, yeah, let's do the military intervention, whatever. But
this is the lads where is this now? This is the American lads. The Navy arrives in Tangiers Bay, and then they start prattling on about having the biggest stick, which, in fairness, is Teddy Roosevelt's policy at the time was walk tall and carry a big stick. Speak soft and carry the big stick, which is basically the policy of go into negotiations, but kind of point a gun at somebody's face, but be nice about it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Again, that's just brushed over. They just say big stick. I think they say it 5 times. Never really explains it.
Did you have an issue with the audio at all for dialogue? I found it hard to hear certain things.
I found the level was a bit off.
Yeah.
But sometimes the background sound kind of washed over a little bit.
Yeah, I felt that. Maybe it's just, the decades have gone past and the devices we're listening to them on don't suit it anymore. But anyway, so I just felt, I don't even remember what Rasul's doing or Connery's doing. So after this, we get the escape scene. And again,
there's one piece here. I don't know if you spotted it. It made me chuckle. Was there was a guard as the Mrs. Pedicaris and the 2 kids are going out. So she sends the 10-year-old son with a flower pot to knock out the guard. Which I'm
2
thinking,
flower pots.
Yeah, but that's the thing. One, why are you sending your son? You're bigger and stronger. Use yourself, God damn it. 2. If I get hit over the head with a flower pot, I don't just sit there going, ooh.
Yeah.
I'll let him go and get a second one to finish the job.
Yeah, it's like
5-6 seconds between flower pots.
Yeah, I'm not getting knocked out by a flower pot, especially from the weight, the strength of a little boy.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be a burly Berber, a hardened criminal. Yes, a tiny little flower pot from a 10-year-old. That'll take me out.
Plonk.
Sorry, yes.
No, but then, like we mentioned before, they escape, and obviously the next bandit hideout is they're a bit more primeval.
Yeah,
like that's like sand people from Star Wars. The way they're portrayed, like they're just. I think the director just dehumanizes them, and then Connery comes and does the rescue. And at this point in time, also I wanted to point out something. There's way too many horse face plants into the ground really hard. That made me uncomfortable. Like a lot of when the horses get injured or shot, or the riders get shot, or these horses planted nose down into the sand a lot. And I'm like going, what the hell?
Like, this is 1975, baby. Yeah, Animal welfare wasn't something they cared about back then.
Yeah, there was no PETA guidance on that one or whatever, the humane treatment of animals. But maybe it's the way the horses should land, but maybe horses shouldn't fall at all in movies.
Well, most animals shouldn't fall on their face.
Yeah. So like then I just like now Razul is the hero, so like she just takes it for granted now after him killing everybody.
Oh, there was a scene in this though that as well. Part of the rescue, she picks up a halberd type thing.
Yeah.
Is whacking some of the evil brigands over the head with it.
Yeah.
Where I found a bit of production issues was they left in a scene where the blade of the halberd clearly and obviously bends as she hits some fellow over the head with it. So rubber. I don't know why they left that scene in, but it made me chuckle.
This is the writer of Apocalypse Now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It was a Benny Hill-esque fight scene, which
another head rolled in this scene as well.
Yeah. Oh, off the horse, yeah.
Yeah, and she's killing people left, right, and center with that big spiky thing.
Yeah, she's like a ninja.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, fine, you're killing people now. That's great.
Yeah. Again, killing a bunch of hardened criminals. The same woman who couldn't knock out one guard by herself had to send her son, yet she's able to kill 4 or 5 lads. Okay.
Yeah, it's surprising she didn't hand a friggin' spear to her daughter. Here.
Should have, just to be consistent.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the next big massive scene, which seems to last for like half an hour, is when the Yanks land, and it's like 20 minutes of them stomping to the Razul's place. It's like jump, 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 jump. And they last forever, and it's like, could you fucking get on with it?
Yeah, it's there was too much marching.
So
looting for 5 minutes. It wasn't marching; it was parading.
Yeah, it was like just a little.
I don't know about you. I am no military expert, but if I'm carrying out a military operation, I do not announce my presence 3 kilometers out.
This is 1904. This is if you know your warfare history, you know you're not too far away from the American War of, what is it? Independence, 1870 or something.
Yeah, and we're just right before World War One as well.
Yeah, so you're still dealing with like rows, like when they line up outside the dude's palace or whatever, they still do the whole War of Independence, like front row kneels, second row stands, and the rest of the guys minding the Moroccan palace are just standing there going.
They're looking at them. What are these guys doing? What are you pointing at us? They look like guns. What are you doing that for?
Fire, dead.
Yeah, I found that bit a bit unbelievable, obviously. You don't sit there looking at guys slowly lining up with guns.
Yeah.
You might shoot. I personally would have shot. Fire one of your cannons, you turnips.
Yeah. Anyway, we're nearly getting to the end of this movie. It's, Razul has a story time. I wrote down blah because I just don't even remember what the story time was. We see Teddy Roosevelt doing some shooting practice and his buddy Hay going, you could kill somebody or something, but I wasn't really interested in dialogue.
Tells his daughter, oh, by the way, I've gone blind in my left eye. Boxing match, don't tell the missus.
Yeah. There's more horse montages. Yeah, and then they're going basically to do the handover. Then basically they got word that you're gonna get handed over, blah blah blah. And then Mrs. Pedicure says, "Oh, what's your first name?" to Razul, and he goes, "My first name is," and then he strings off 5, 6 names.
Molly.
She goes, "Well, my first name is blah blah blah." It's like, come on.
Eden. I wrote it down.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
I was like, I couldn't be bothered.
I don't know why I did, to be honest.
No, I couldn't.
No relevance to the story.
Anyway, to cut a long story very short, they got ambushed by Americans and Germans, and Germans, yeah, and
here's another of my problems. So the Americans, while attending the ambush, are also saying we're actually not part of the ambush.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I'm calling BS on that one. And then the portrayal of the Germans is very two-dimensional. Oh, here's the Krauts. They're up to no good again.
Got the pointy hats.
Yeah, the pointy hats and the super Aryan general looking after them. So it's such a caricature.
Yeah, well, the entire movie was a caricature of Arabic, not Arabic people, but the Moroccan. What do you call them? What's the tribe?
The Berbers.
Name? Berbers. Yeah, Berbers. Sorry, I didn't write that down. Anyway, the Americans take them away and go, "Yo, we have to stay here till morning time or whatever." I don't know why. And I think the funniest part of the movie is when William is falling asleep and the montage of all the good things that Rasul did, but no beheadings. I would have laughed if the beheadings came up like a Naked Gun movie, like all the good things, then all these horrible, evil things as well. But it was all the good things about, oh, here he is. He took us on horseback. Oh, here's us picking flowers. Oh, here's us, cross it in a knitting pattern.
No mention of the extreme PTSD a 10-year-old kid would receive over this. Like the stuff he just witnessed. Holy crap!
And then the most stupidest scene is when the family takes over an entire platoon. Come on.
Yeah, Mrs. Pedicure pulls a knife on the American captain and says, we're leaving now and we're going to fight all that German brigade out there and we're going to save him. And then the American guy, this is the worst part, because that's already stupid. Incredibly stupid. And then the American captain goes, gee whiz, I think that's a great idea. Come on, guys, we'll all do it.
Yay.
Such a stupid ending to a movie.
Yeah, there's a big finale there where it's like the Berbers come down off the hill and then Germans and Americans and more horse face planting and
some beheadings.
She's bloody crying when he's leaving because they release Rasul and he's crying. And of course
this is after she's gunned down like another 5 Germans with her shotgun.
And he's sort of going, he has one more time to say a line he said 2 or 3 times. You are a lot of trouble, Mrs. Petticoat.
Yes.
Yes.
But of course I'm Arabic.
Yeah. Yes. The end.
Yeah. Yeah, he rides off with the sunrise then.
Yeah, I gave the plot 1 out of 5. I thought it was crap.
Oh, right in the nose. 1 out of 5. That's what I gave it to.
All right. Well, to acting, there's a couple of good roles. I think the guy, Brian Keith, played Roosevelt. I thought that was very well done. I thought he was very good.
I thought it was very good. It's a shame it had very little bearing on the actual story, but, off to the side, he more than a journeyman job, and he's actually quite interesting.
And everybody else. Actually, Brian Keith shot himself in real life at the end of his life. Yeah. He also starred in 1 episode of Deep Space Nine, but that wasn't the reason why he killed himself.
Bad reviews from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Actually, no, I was reading up his life story, and then his wife came out and said, I don't think he killed himself. He liked his guns and was cleaning them, probably.
Shit happens, I guess.
Yeah. Shot happens.
Yeah.
Candice Bergen, Stick. Yeah, she was better in this movie than Stick. Connery, obviously you're getting Connery. What's your favorite Connery role?
Me? Oh, that's a tough one. The Highlander's up there.
Oh.
Highlander, maybe The Untouchables. Big fan of that one.
Hunt for Red October.
I love that for his Russian accent.
I think Face Off, or not Face Off, The Rock, I think. Yeah.
It's pretty good. Amazing. Well, that's good because we've got Sean Connery and Mr. Cage.
Oh yeah, double whammy.
Double whammy. Cheese it up maximum.
Of course, there's Entrapment, but
that's not good.
I know, but it's got that famous scene where she's going under the lasers.
Yeah, well, that's good for a different reason.
Yeah.
Not because of acting ability.
No. The dude that played Hay, Roosevelt's left-hand man or whatever, is named John Huston, and he directed Maltese Falcon. and also directed Escape to Victory, if you remember that weird
football
World War II movie with Pele and Sylvester Stallone.
I actually enjoyed it as a kid. You know what? Here's the thing about this movie. I would have enjoyed this as a kid.
Yeah, true.
You know, at the same age as William, I'd been, oh yeah, this is good. But, you know,
there's a couple of head choppings though, you know, like as a parent, you want your kid to watch this. I think it's PG. It's weird.
Yeah, there's no real violence actually shown.
No, but there's
head
rolling on the ground.
The concept of violence is in the background. And he swings a sword, but you don't see it connect, and you see the side effects of it.
So you as a parent have to go, I wonder, do I allow my kids to watch this, or do I allow them to watch a good movie?
Yeah, if there's going to be violence, I'm going to allow my kids to watch. It's not going to be this one.
It's going to be something else. Anyway, just wrapping up. I thought
Conan the Barbarian, obviously.
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. Captain Jerome, the guy who led the American thing, he just gave me. He's played by Steve Canale. He's done nothing, but he just reminded me of Brad Pitt a little bit esque.
Really?
You know, and he's got that pencil. He reminded me of Inglourious Bastards. His role in that, and just I don't know. He said some things that remind me of him. The daughter is played by Polly Gottesman, who now owns an organic farm in Portland, Oregon.
That is some weird ass facts to dig up.
Yeah.
Well done.
She didn't act at all for the rest of her life, I don't think. The son did a lot of stuff, but nothing too crazy. I gave the acting 2 out of 5 just because of Roosevelt. I thought that was fine. And probably Candice Bergen too, I guess. And Connery because he's Connery.
I give it 2.5 because I'm a massive Connery fan.
All right. Sound brackets track. Now, you've the usual saga, like intro music, and all throughout it, you've got this glorious orchestra, blah blah blah. Now the guy behind this, Jerry Goldsmith, he's got a crazy backstory. This isn't his best. He's done music for Alien, Star Trek, The Omen. He got an Oscar for The Omen. He's done Poltergeist. But I think I had rated this 1 out of 5 because it didn't really hit me. But then I found out that he composed Star Trek Voyager's theme tune.
Good out of 10.
Yeah, so that's my favorite Star Trek theme tune, and I listened to it again this evening. I was like, all right, it's 2 out of 5. I've given it 1 extra point because he
did other stuff that was good.
That's right.
I give it 1.5 because it neither hinders nor really adds anything to it. I think he phoned it in on this one. If that's his back catalogue, and this is forgettable in the extreme, he phoned it in.
He did, and I'll forgive him for that because he composed Star Trek Voyager.
I didn't know that. I missed that in my voyages through his history.
Yeah, I nearly missed it because I saw he did Wrath of Khan, he did the first Star Trek, and he's done a bunch of other movies that I just didn't write down, but then I just saw under his TV titles he did Star Trek Voyager, and I was very happy. All right, production. Okay, so listen. It's fine. It's okay. It's like a 1970s adventure thing. It's got horses. It's got good cinematography. There's a couple of scenes where Roosevelt's posing as a bear and it's looking up at him. I kind of like those angles. Yeah. You know, it's got all the costumes right. It's but they focus way too long on horses headbutting ground a lot. I'm telling you, there must be like 50 horses who headbutt the ground, and then probably 40 minutes.
Hopefully it wasn't the same horse over and over again, because that's unfair.
Yeah, it's going to be a headache. Why the long face? And just so much, like, I know they must be proud and they've paid a lot of money to get all these horses and horse riders, but they spend, like, I guess 30 minutes. I would not even joking, 30 minutes of no dialogue, horses running through deserts. I gave the production, what did I give it? I gave it 2.5 out of 5 because it's a saga and it's done well, but it's average.
I was going to give it a bit more. I give it 2, but just the scene with the wobbly sword detracts a bit from production professionalism, to be honest. While it is hilarious, it's kind of weak in terms of production, so I knocked it down a little bit for that.
Your wobbly sword is my fake footsteps in Truman.
Yeah, I can't let it go.
Yeah.
It stuck with me through the rest of the movie, it really did.
You're constantly looking out for wobbly instruments from then on, wobbly weapons. That cannon is floating.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pauline Kael in the New Yorker gave it 50 out of 100. She says, when the actors begin to talk, which they do incessantly, the flat-footed dialogue and the amateur's acting, especially by the secondary characters, take one back to the low-budget buffoonery of Maria Montez and Turhan Bey.
Don't necessarily disagree, especially about the secondary characters being super weak.
Yeah. I don't know who Maria Montez and Turhan Bey are. I didn't even look it up, but I'm sure she's trying to be a movie expert, so that's fine. Ted Maher in The Oregonian in 1991 gave it 88 out of 100. He says, it is a colourful tale in an exotic location with excitingly staged action scenes, exotic desert locale, and a richly colourful musical score by Jerry Goldsmith. It is also rich in satirical cynicism about international relations and political expediency.
My bum.
There is no cynicism or satire.
No,
it's a badly scripted movie.
German guy in the corner, and that's satire, is it? Well done.
Yeah, and actually, I forgot to mention when Teddy Roosevelt's having his dinner party, there's a Japanese character, and he just speaks in stereotypical Japanese things. It's bad.
It's very bad.
Yeah, and the wind in the line analogy is made near the end, but I was so bored I couldn't remember.
I was about there. I wrote down the first 3 words, and then I just got to the point where I couldn't be arsed. It was trying to be poetic and trying to portray Sean in this as a scholar and a poet and all that crap.
Yeah,
no, just no.
No. All right, that's the end of Wind in the Line. Let's throw it into the wind, and hopefully a lion eats it.
That would
like
be
what I did there. Yeah. All right, so let's randomize for the next one and see what we come up with. We have got 101.
Get in.
Not 101 Dalmatians. Again, a movie I've never heard of before, I don't think. Let me see. All right, 101. It's given a 94 Metascore and a 7.
Documentary.
It's not a documentary.
Woohoo.
And it is UK.
Okay.
And it's from 2001. And it's called The Servant.
Oh.
And the synopsis is, the servant looks at the decaying British class system through the relationship between an aristocrat and his scheming butler. Hang on a sec. This isn't 2001 because it's got Dirk Bogarde in it.
Huh? What? Unless he's been resuscitated.
This is confusing to me.
The Servant.
Yeah, it's directed by Joseph Lossie. It's a Harold Pinter written screen. It says home release date December 18th, 2001, but I'm guessing that might be a re-release.
One in 1963.
Yeah, that might be it.
Servant.
Yeah.
There's
well, anyway.
A TV show called Servant. That's not it.
No, it's in black and white, so I'm guessing it's probably a re-release. Here we go. Release date March 16th, 1964. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just re-released in 2001.
Aaron Mills, Wendy Craig, James Fox.
All right, so we've got an oldie to look at. This is the oldest one we've seen before. That's fine, and it's 116 minutes, so it's not too short, but that's fine. That'll be something to.
Oh, and it bangs in a lot of awards. So, best cinematography, best actor. Okay.
Nice. Well, there you go.
Jamie Foxx is in it. I'm wondering if it's the same one that's kicking around now.
Unless he's a vampire, probably not.
Probably
all right, we'll wrap episode 23 up, and we look forward to watching The Servant in episode 24. And if you liked our episode this week and this episode, please like and rate us on all your podcast platforms that you listen to us on, please. We will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.